Welcome back to the channel, Racer X here, and today I am actually on my way back up to Gearheads Performance in Mansfield, Texas. And if you didn't catch my last video, this is actually the second part of the Mustang twin turbo build. Yes, I have a Bad Daddy sleeper kit going in from Hellion Power Systems, and they have been diligently doing their thing up there at Gearheads to get this thing installed. And there's a lot of things going in on the car, a Bad Daddy fuel system, of course we got oil pump gears and all the rest of it. So today, hopefully, we can get up there. We'll see where things stand. It should be really interesting. I think we're getting pretty close here, so I'm getting really excited about it. But anyway, guys, if you are new to my channel, do me a big gigantic favor. Hit the subscribe button down there at the bottom. Also hit the notification bell so you get notified when I have new content come out. And here we go. All right, I have finally arrived despite all of the Dallas traffic. I'm here at Gearheads now in Mansfield, Texas. And the last time you saw me on part one, they already had the oil pump gears in the car. They were about maybe 2/3 of the way done with the twin turbo kit, so they still had some more piping and stuff to go on that. And then, of course, the entire fuel system needed to be plumbed and put in the car. So still some things to do. And anyways, it's just an awful crappy day outside, so I'm going to head into the shop and see where things stand. All right, so I am back in the shop here at Gearheads. You can see the Mustang back behind me on the lift, and Matt has actually made a lot of progress on the car since we saw him yesterday. Today is actually kind of towards the end of the day, so they're actually getting ready to clean up and go home for the weekend. But he did get quite a bit done on the car, so I'm just going to head back over here and show you what all he's done today. Pretty cool. All right, so as you can see, the Mustang is still up in the air. We've got that Bad Daddy intercooler sitting right here on the front of the car. And yesterday we did not have a lot of these, the piping and stuff that you see here. So you can see this has all now been put in. Very cool. You got blow-off valves, things like that in here that are completely installed, obviously on both sides. As you step up underneath here, he's basically got everything connected up under the car here, which is really exciting. He now has the oil lines completely tied up. There's that little T we were talking about yesterday. So you can see the turbos are now completely tight and in here, which is really exciting. So the turbos are completely mounted. He does have the, he's got the filters on here, which I guess, is a little bit hard kind of getting up in here just from a space perspective, but he's got those in and they look fantastic. Super excited. As you can see, we've got obviously the pipes coming back to the exhaust system, and he'll put the exhaust system on probably next time. And that is going to be really it on the, not a whole lot left to go on this turbo. So let me kind of step back. There's still some things to go on the top end of the vehicle. Another nice little touch from Hellion, and you can tell that they spent a lot of hours kind of making sure that these kits fit just right, is look how nice and tight this fits up here. Obviously this is now connected directly to the chassis, so you don't really get any play in here. So this thing is really in here nice and snug. And of course, with this being up in the air, you can see there's kind of a little bit of contact there. Now, as obviously the weight of the vehicle pushes down on this, then that will no longer be the case. So obviously, like, they did a lot of measuring, Hellion did, to make sure that this kit goes in and really fits properly. Now, one of the things that I think is so cool about this particular kit, the sleeper kit, obviously you do see that these turbos are undermounted, which I think kind of helps to keep the turbos a little cooler. As we know, turbos tend to put out a lot of heat. Now, check out this. This is actually the pipe that runs through the stock intake box. So, yeah, the stock intake box is no longer functional once you put this kit on the car. Everything's running through that turbo system. But this actually goes right through the stock intake box, so you can't even see that this is on the car, hence the sleeper system. So when this is all said and done and he gets all the piping done on the top of the car, it will literally look like a bone stock Mustang. Of course, when you lift it up in the air, as we can see, things change a lot, but it'll be pretty neat to see a car that basically looks like a bone stock Mustang run like an absolute beast. All right, so there's our man Matt, who's doing the install on the Hellion kit. Man, how did it go today for you? I know you've been working on this kit now for about 3 days or so, 2.5 days. You made a ton of progress since the last time I saw you. So,
yes.
I mean, so how are things coming in your opinion? How's the install coming?
It's going good. The only thing left is the boost control system and the fuel system.
Okay.
Minus the intake tubing, the cold side of that, everything's done on the turbo kit.
Everything's all tightened up. We got a few little exhaust
good.
bits to get tightened up.
Yep.
The top of the engine, which you seem to think is going to be pretty easy to do,
Yep.
because you've already got basically everything kind of routed, and the oil lines you said were a little tough.
Yeah, the oil line wasn't too bad. It was a little on the tougher side just because they're push lock style.
Right.
The passenger's air filter, that one was a nightmare, but I got it.
It's a space thing, though. That's the problem.
Yes.
So it's not like it's a problem with the kit. It's just so tight in there.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. So.
Welcome to your world, right? All right, so we have reached the end of the day here at Gearheads. They're actually putting the shop kind of to sleep, so to speak, so they can actually have a weekend. So they're closed on Sundays and Mondays here. So we will revisit the shop again on Tuesday. We'll give Matt certainly some time during the day to work his magic on this again, because I think the next time we see, obviously, the car and these guys, I think the turbo kit is going to be basically done. He's just going to be working on getting that fuel system in, as he mentioned, and of course that electronic boost controller, which is really kind of what controls this whole monster, and part of the reason I was so excited about this build. So anyway, guys, we will check in with these guys here in a couple of days, see how things stand. All right, so I have arrived at Gearheads. It's actually closer to the end of the day. I wanted to go ahead and give Matt as much time as he could to get as many things done as he could, and I'm super stoked because he's actually working on kind of the final touches of the fuel system. The turbo system is actually completely in and basically 100% done. He's got the stock air intake box back on it. So I want to show you what all he's done, just how cool this Hellion sleeper kit really is now that you can see everything coming together. Now, as you can see, look at how many parts are left, considerably less than when I was here last time. So he has done a good job of getting a lot of stuff back onto the car. And the car looks considerably different, obviously, now that we can look at the top side of it. I think last time the car was still pretty far up in the air. But as you can see, one of the great things about this Hellion sleeper kit is that it runs through, the charge pipe basically runs right through the stock pipe. So he had to do a lot of carving on the inside of this, but it looks essentially stock, which I absolutely love. A couple other things that you will notice as you start to take a closer look at this is the fact that, one, he's got the injectors in here. Also, he's got the fuel pressure regulators, all the gauges, all that kind of stuff from 4 Innovations. They're all hidden. So this will all be hidden actually under the cover when he puts the cover on. So he's working on still finishing up some of the electrical components of the fuel system. You can see, got our gauge here as well. So a lot of great things about this kit. So he's got some other things to kind of get buttoned up back here just to sort of finish everything. But he's really kind of putting the final touches on this fuel system. And it's going to be party time here very soon. Let me show you the inside of the car really quick. Now, as you can see, the inside of this car, when you put these big fuel systems in them, I mean, a lot of the car has to come apart. So it's a little alarming when you first look at it. As you can see, he's got the back seats completely out. Now, he already has the pumps dropped in there, so we're in good shape on that. This is actually where the boost gauge is going to go. That's the kind of the air conditioning vent. So you can see he's already got that piece already out, so it'll be closest to the driver. But you can see he's basically working on making sure all of those lines are exactly where they're going to be. They're going to be nice and hidden and tucked away when he's done doing his handiwork. And it's going to be basically looking just like stock, which I think is fantastic.
Everything's been going really well. The only thing that's kind of been a little bit of a pain, but it wasn't too bad, was the passenger side air filter.
It's a tight squeeze.
Man, like I said before, it's 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. So
That's
I
right.
mean, there's not much room for air.
Yeah.
You know, that and the stock air box.
So you had to basically carve up the inside of the stock air box. So it's not like it's usable again, but it hides the charge pipe, which is the very definition of this sleeper kit, right?
Correct.
So, I mean, I'm just excited. It's just crazy how much is going on in here and how hard Hellion worked to try and make this thing look like a stock car.
Oh yeah.
Which is amazing. And you did a lot of your handiwork as well, because you had to work, pretty diligently to make sure everything was going to be hidden underneath the cover in terms of fuel lines and the way things are routed. It takes some creativity, right?
Oh yeah. Whenever I made all the lines, and whenever I was trying to do it, I was trying to keep everything hidden, going with the sleeper vibe. So that proved a little challenging, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, it wasn't too bad.
It's coming together awesome, man. So at the end of the day, these guys pull the cars, a lot of these cars in that they're working on to keep them safe. There's our man Luis right there. This is our Mopar guru. So what's up, buddy? I never thought I'd see you behind the wheel of a Corvette.
I was lost for a second.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I forgot you were learning how to drive right there. So how's everything going, brother?
Pretty good.
Yeah, are you working on another Mopar today?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got another ported Hellcat, 10% lower.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing another fuel system.
Oh shoot! Sound like a little excessive setup right there.
Yeah.
You know that car pretty well, so.
You,
Oh man, dude, you're starting to expand your horizons here a little bit.
Yeah. Get my hands on a little bit of everything.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, brother. So I do need to make quick mention of this. This is one of the bigger builds that they're doing. As you can see, it is, in fact, the GT500. Pretty hard to miss that Cobra on the side, but they are getting after it with this one. Look at the size of this turbo.
That's a huge
You can tell they've done a lot of custom fab work with this. They've done a lot of cutting and just trying to make things fit. Obviously, this is going to be a hole directly in the bumper. So that is an absolutely massive single turbo on this. There's a lot going on with this particular car. I assume it's going to make some absolutely disgusting power. So I can't wait to see what this thing throws down. It really is beautiful to see just how much time Hellion spent on getting this kit to fit just right. And like I said, it keeps that sleeper status motif, but I mean, everything fits in here and is very purposeful. Like I said, this thing, it's all hidden. The intercooler's hidden after, obviously once you put the bumper on, as we know that we've got tubing in here that's hidden. I mean, it's just really, really neat. And you have to know exactly what to look for if you're really to tell that anything is going on under here, even though this car can make double or triple the power of a normal Mustang GT. I mean, you can kind of tell that you've got the scavenger pump kind of down in here, way down in there. So I guess if you knew to look at that, but like I said, the cover is going to cover a lot of this thing. So that is definitely something to think about. And even the lines, he's doing a good job of hiding. So yeah, I mean, it's just amazing how well Hellion did with making sure, I mean, every little detail in terms of how, everything fits together. It's crazy. You can really tell from the underside of the car. So as you can see, we still have some bits to get tied up on the Mustang, but as Matt said, he's going to try and get a lot of this knocked out tonight, and obviously whatever he doesn't finish tonight is probably going to get knocked out in the morning. I have also been informed that my tune file has arrived from Palm Beach Dyno, which means that as soon as he's done getting the car buttoned up, we can load the tune file in. Travis can actually get it on the rollers, and then things are going to get really exciting because not only will the car be finished, we'll be able to actually get the tune loaded in, check to see what kind of numbers this thing throws down, and that's when we can really start getting super excited about, this entire kit. All right, so I have arrived back here at Gearheads Performance in Mansfield, and guess what? Matt did his handiwork all night last night, and he's actually doing just a little bit of touch-up work on the exhaust. He's got to put a little bit of coolant in the car, and then the car basically is done and ready to be lowered down and started. So what we're actually going to go ahead and do that, run it a little bit, and kind of let that oil circulate to make sure that there's plenty of oil, and so we'll recheck the oil level. I already got a tune ready to load into the car, so that's already basically ready to go, and then it's going to be time to hit the rollers. So let me kind of show you what's going on back here, show you how much more work he did, and man, I'm so excited because it is just about party time. He does still have the car up in the air. You can peer right through here and see the intercooler up there, but now that we're getting to see basically the finished product, I'm super excited. Obviously, you've got your pipes coming down through here. Here is the handiwork on the turbos that's all finished up. You can see you've got the oil lines, everything is tied up nice and tight in here. Like I said, it is pretty tight squeeze in here, but it looks so good now that it's basically almost completely done. And he's actually fabbing up a little bit of work on the exhaust. There's a reason why he's doing that. Basically what happened, we could not use the X pipe in this system because it tapers down. So as you look at the X-Mod X pipe, it actually tapers down to, I believe, 2 3/4. And Hellion was adamant that on my system that it maintained a 3-inch exhaust all the way through to maintain maximum power. So Matt is doing his handiwork. He's actually fabbing up some pipe. He's going to actually get that down and make sure the weld is just perfect on it. And when he's done, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So almost like a straight pipe, but do keep in mind that turbos do tend to quiet down the exhaust just a little bit and give it a different sound. So the car is really coming along. Fuel system is completely tied up, 100% done. Boost gauge is in, pumps are in, all that good stuff is ready to rock and roll. So he's going to finish this, put some coolant in it, and then we're going to see if it'll fire up. Now, another thing that a lot of people have asked me about is, look, Racer X, what are you going to do with all that power? Obviously, this thing's going to make some awesome power, and I still have those little pizza cutter tires on this thing, those little stock 18-inch wheels. Don't worry, guys. I have a plan for it. It's I've got some wheels coming in very, very soon for the Mustang, so just stay tuned for that. I've got a solution. So, but in the meantime, it's going to be really interesting driving it around with this much power with 235s on the back of it. So Matt is back here. He's actually setting the fuel pressure on the car, just little bitty finite things. That's the way it always goes with this. And then Travis is going to come over here. He's actually going to load the tune file from Palm Beach into the car, and basically the car should be ready. But it might be a little while before he gets that tune file in. So actually what's going to happen is I'm going to come back in the morning with my laptop, because obviously I've got HP tuners on there. We got to make sure that all the the files are set, config, all that stuff. Everything's made it up with the car so that I can do some data logging with the car and get that information back over to Palm Beach Dyno. It's a little bit of it's a little bit of back and forth to kind of make sure the tune is perfectly dialed in. but the car is just about ready to hit the street. So be back in the morning to check in with these guys. All right, guys, I am actually back at Gearheads again today, and great news. So, well, the bad news is it's raining outside, which has been kind of just typical. It has not stopped, but there is the Mustang right there. The car has been pulled out of the shop. Twin turbos are on. Everything is good. Tune is loaded in. Now it's just a matter of data logging. So I feel like the best thing I can do, like I said, the install on this thing already ready to go. Oh man, I'm so excited. Of course, today, now that it's raining and I don't have, I got these little tires on the back, it's gonna make for a really interesting drive home. But I think I'll go ahead and start the car for you, let you take a real quick listen to this monster. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys, there you have it. The guys at Gearheads have completed the build on the Hellion twin turbo kit. I am so excited to go out and actually start street testing this thing, getting some data on it. And of course, I'm gonna have to go do it in the rain, which is pretty much absolutely a sucky situation, but they can't control that. But anyway, huge shout out to the guys here at Gearheads. Fantastic job they did on the car. Huge shout out to Matt. He spent long hours working on the car. Of course, Travis as well, putting the tune in and just doing a lot of refinement stuff there. But really, all the guys chipped in. Huge shout out to all those guys for doing such a fantastic job on this install. And I am ready to see what this thing will do. So anyway, guys, that's it for the install. Stay tuned for part 3, which is actually how much power does the thing make on the dyno. That'll come after I do a little bit of street testing and we refine the tune just a little bit, but that's coming. So stay tuned for that, and I will catch you on the next one. So until then, Racer X.